Welcome to the Silhouettes of Success podcast with your host, successful entrepreneur, broker, and business mentor, Amber Weitzer. Because success comes in all shapes, sizes, and styles, the Silhouettes of Success podcast is shining the light on industrious women with a collection of curated conversations of intentional inspiration designed to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, feed your soul, and gift you with actionable insights directly from inspirational, everyday women who've shown tenacity, grit, and grace, having taken on the challenges in their lives and business and won. Remarkable, down-to-earth, and relatable, Amber and her guests will share with you uplifting and extraordinary real-life success stories, motivational ideas that just might help spark something within you. With the deepest desire to serve you, help you grow so you can begin to shine the light that will illuminate your very own silhouette of success. So, let's get to it.
Hello, and welcome to the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success. This is another exciting visit today with a spectacular talent, enterprising, confident woman who lights up the room when she walks in. So please help me welcome Monica Lawrence, owner of Texas Boutique Media. Hello, Monica.
Hi, Amber.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Excellent. So, Monica, it's a happy day for me when I get to visit with you, but more today as you get to share your Silhouette of Success story with us. So once again, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So, Monica, to help illustrate your Silhouette of Success, would you like to share with us a little bit about your background?
Sure. So my background is, I feel like I've done everything, honestly. My background's very colorful. Most of my background revolves around media, advertising. I've even done some graphic design and social media. But originally, my background actually started out in hospitality. I wanted to work at hotels. I wanted to work across the country and travel. But then just journalism really took my heart. So my degree is actually in journalism, but my career actually takes place more in a media advertising background. After journalism school, I took a branch to, outdoor media. Outdoor media, loved it. And then I kind of had a passion for photography. So then I decided to jump on the photography train, and that's where I've been ever since.
Well, that's awesome. Now, see, just so folks know, of course, most of the ladies that I interview, I know personally, probably it's going to be about 90%. And so, of course, I know you, but I didn't know that part of you, which is amazing. And that kind of helps really put the picture together for me, because I see that you are drawn to a lot of the travel aspects in capturing your creative vision. I see your photographs and your work, and it's just wonderful. You're always so stylish, and your awesome hats, and you've always got something going on, and you've got such a cool style. So that helps frame things better for me too.
Thank you.
So when you took that leap or took that step, it's been an exciting year or two for me to watch you with your new business, developing it and growing it. So how did you decide or determine that it was truly your time to launch the business?
That's a good question. I think I had just reached a point where I realized I had been down so many journeys, and I got to a point where I was like, you know what, this journey isn't for me. And then I would try another journey. And before you knew it, I was 30 years old, and I still hadn't found something that I wake up in the morning and I could pretty much do for free, because that's how much I love it. And I wanted that. I wanted to wake up in the morning and be so excited to just put my feet on the ground and start my work and be passionate about it. And where I was 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, although I loved that company, it wasn't it. It just wasn't it. So my husband, he's a serial entrepreneur, and he said, Monica, we're at a comfortable position in our life. Why don't you step back, realize what you're passionate about, and go for it. And, it sounds terrifying. Like, okay, living on one income just so I can figure out what I want to do sounds absolutely terrifying. But it gave me a chance to realize what I actually love. And what I love I've always loved photography, but when you start out, you don't really make a whole lot of money. And I started out before Facebook even started, early on, and I had to shelf it because it wasn't paying the bills. And so now that, fast forward, married, husband, all the bells and whistles, it gave me the proper platform to actually do what I love, do what I'm passionate about. And so I just leaped, and it's been amazing. I'm so happy I did it. I wake up happy every single morning, excited, definitely frightening, and scary, but in a good way. I wouldn't have done it any other way.
It's a beautiful story. And to have that support is amazing and phenomenal as well. It's always helpful to have someone that's got your back, if you will, to say, you know what? Not only can we do it, but I want you to go for it. I want you to find that. So that's really cool. Yeah. So when you went through the process of taking what you know and taking your passions and combining those two, can you share with us? Because, there's always somebody else out there going through maybe that phase or that earlier phase where you were, or just getting on the cusp of taking those steps. Tell us a little bit more about what went into this decision-making process with your vision when you were creating Texas Boutique Media, because it is a fascinating business model. I love your business model.
Great question. Great question. When I actually started out doing it, like I said, I had a media background. So it started out actually two parts. One was creating social media content for small businesses. And then the second part of my business was providing brand photography for those social media accounts that I was going to be working on. And so basically those came to life because they were jobs that I could do from my home. And I do have a 2-year-old, so he is home with me. And my husband wasn't comfortable putting him in daycare. So I wanted to do something that worked for my schedule, that I was able to do at my home, at my leisure. There was no clock in at 8, clock out at 5. I could kind of hop in and out of my day, get my work day done, as well as still be that mom that has the mom duties, of course. So it just worked for my schedule. I think that was the big reason why I was able to make it work, is because it really gave me the right time to handle all of my daily needs between work and being a mom. But actually what came down to it is social media content takes a long time. I love doing it, but I actually ended up cutting down my services because as I got in deeper and deeper, I realized my passion wasn't the social media aspect. Although I love it, I kept finding myself getting more excited about the photography aspect. I just kept finding myself educating myself in the newest trends all on photography. And I was kind of leaving the social media services kind of on the back burner. And that's when my husband and I light bulb went off. I shouldn't be doing the social media. I should be doing what I really focus on. And so that's where I got to give 100% into the photography aspect. So I guess really you start out having all these big dreams, right? You're going to do this service and this service and this service. But what ended up happening is I was falling behind on other services and only focusing on one. So now that I've had the time to figure out what I want to focus all my time on, no longer social media, just the photography, it has enabled me to really build beautiful photos for clients and put in all my effort with no distractions. And I think that's beneficial, obviously, for the client and for me, because I can give them quality photos that they're paying for.
I can speak firsthand. I was fortunate enough to have your talents and skills and creative eye for a pre-market photo shoot. And I shared this, I think, with you on a review, but it's important to share your light with everybody and let them know they do need to go check you out on your social medias and look at what you're doing, because you not only have the talent, but you have the skill and the professionalism and just the personality to read. I think we call that, the emotional intelligence aspect, but you can walk into a situation or a room, because I've watched you, and not just in that scenario, but you can just read and people are drawn to you, and it's just that complete composure. And so kudos to you for putting that to use and finding where you find the passion of what you're doing to make a profit and to make a living. So that's just exciting.
Yeah, thank you. I always love your feedback. You give really good feedback. It's always, you have the most specific points and it's so helpful. I just love hearing your feedback.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to give it to you, right? Yes, because it's,
Definitely.
your photos are like eye candy. I've had more people talk to me about the photos. And so when you were taking those steps, and as you talked about, you have, all these super big goals and dreams. But then when you take the steps and the action and you start to focus in on your niche or your ideal client, how do you now perhaps identify your ideal client? Do you have an ideal client that you really market to, or do they find you? How has that been working for you with your newer business?
I actually started out with the idea, and this is also kind of an up and down growing scale because you start out thinking this is who my ideal client is, but I'm getting calls from people that are interested, businesses that are interested. I'm finding out that who I thought was my client isn't my client.
Yeah.
So, which is also, interesting and exciting because it gives me new opportunities to open more doors. But ideally, it is a small business owner who is working on building their website, getting some content for their social media, or really anyone who's trying to get marketing photos for website, pamphlets, flyers, something like that, or even maybe a few pictures of their products to put on any type of marketing, print or social. But originally, when I started out, I in my head just had a vision that realtors are my clients, mainly because they're the ones who they still use print marketing, their pamphlets, their cards, and they still have bubbly, light, exciting social media. And so I've realized I think those women, and there are some men, mostly, I would say 90% of my clients women, 10% men, but mostly realtors are my client. Or I say that, but now I'm realizing it's any small business owners, anyone who needs photos for their social media content or website.
That's fantastic. And it will evolve, right? And I mean these compliments in the sincerest form, they will find you. And I think your your ideal client might continue to evolve because you're doing such great work. And it truly shows that your passion is there when you capture what you do with the lens, because it's just amazing. I read a little bit about how you really believe in supporting. And I know, of course, you and your business and your family's business. And I know how strong you are in the community with that support on many levels. But how do you find support as an independent female business owner?
At first, it's hard to find support. You feel when you open up and you think, okay, my website's done. All right, people, like, let's get business in. And you expect all these orders to come rolling in. And that's not the case.
Right.
You really do have to go out there and be brave and introduce yourself. And it's weird and it's awkward. And I do mean physically introduce yourself in an actual setting, networking events, but also in your social networks online, sending out emails, sending out comments. But I honestly think you build your support system with positivity. So when you send out positivity and you send out reassurance to other small business owners, they're like, wow, she gets it. She knows how I feel. And then it's almost like my weakness and fear is not succeeding. And then I find out that there's other business owners out there who are also in fear of not succeeding. So we have the same similar weaknesses, and I feel like we bond in those same fears. So that's how I seek out my support system, is finding other people who are in my shoes and being open about it. And it turns out we have a lot in common. And so before you know it, our circle of two has turned into a circle of 10. And we all just continue to build each other up, continue to say, hey, on those hard days where maybe you don't have business for a week, maybe you don't have business for a month, but we tell them, you started this business because it's what you wanted to do. It's what you're passionate about. So we encourage them to keep going. And I think once you find that group and you share your positivity, you start receiving that positivity naturally. So that was the big stride for me because I guess I was kind of an introvert. So somewhat of an introvert. So getting myself out there and meeting people ended up being a huge light bulb for my support system, was just taking the first step.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't realize that we might be more introverted than we thought until
Oh
you
my gosh.
really get out there. Yeah, and so congratulations to you on getting out there over the fear and just, showing up is what we say.
Yes,
So
that's correct.
that's awesome. Well, what's your favorite source of style or inspiration?
Probably quotes, I guess. Well, okay, so if I'm ever like feeling like in the middle of the night, I would say like 11 o'clock is when I start, like all my head just won't slow down. And I have all these ideas. And then followed by these ideas, I have doubts. And then my head just goes a million miles an hour. And I started getting on Pinterest one day and just reading quotes. And of course, you can type literally anything in the search bar in Pinterest and something comes up. So I think I'm home with my 2-year-old, so you may hear a few bangs and booms in the background.
That's what we call real life. This is what we're doing here. Tell him hello for us. He's such a sweetie. Oh, yeah.
He's a big boy. So one day I typed in, it was like female quotes female quotes of failure, something about females and failing. And all these quotes came up, and some are long, some are 3 words, but even those 3 words, it comes up with all just kind of random stuff. But reading those, and I mean like reading them, like I would read like 50 or 60 a night just to convince myself that I'm not alone. That was probably a big help. Just being by myself, reading these quotes and hearing from other people that we're not alone, that other people are experiencing the same thing. I think that's probably what inspired me. And of course, my family too. Can't forget about them.
Looking back over the last bit since you have launched this new business and career, has there been a key event or specific point where you really had to take a monumental shift within your business? What was the result? And painful or positive, how did that help you grow?
Probably the biggest monumental shift was I honestly didn't realize that. I always thought working from home meant, your kids playing in the background, mommy at the computer, at the desk, and everything's happy and covered in glitter. So once I actually had like 2 weeks of hard working at home with a 2-year-old, I panicked. I was like, I told my husband, this is not what I saw on social media. This is hard. So my husband was like, well, what can we do? And then so we thought about, do we bring somebody in to watch him? Do we put him in daycare? All these things. And then just trying to get my schedule back to a level position that I could dedicate so many hours per week and just keep it steady and get my work done and not be some crazy lunatic who just yells all the time because she's upset. So that was probably a huge change for me, was realizing the reality of working from home with a kid. But you roll with the punches. You figure out what's best, and you tweak it, and then you tweak it again, and then you go with it. And I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but there were times where I just wanted to sit in a corner and cry because it was hard. But I did it. I showed up and I put in the work, and now I'm at a point where I can handle it. And I'm like, wow, like women rock. We can do this.
You are so right. And you better toot your horn. We're going to toot it with you, but you have to be able to celebrate your successes. And those are very difficult challenges, I guess is a good word. And you've got to dig to find the opportunity within that. But you're right. When we see the portrayal of the mom working from home, they paint a very romantic picture, right, in social media or in advertisement. And so I am absolutely tickled to have the opportunity to share these real conversations, which has him playing in the background and that's real. And that's the only way that I roll, and I think you roll. And so this is amazing. But kudos to you again for having the opportunity to see, to have the clarity, to have the support, and then just show up and work through it. So proud of you, if I can even say that. I'm so proud of you and excited for you. Yeah. So, okay, Monica, as we dig a little bit deeper into your silhouette and everyone's, flipping through to a fresh page in their notes, what feeds your soul? How do you relax and unwind, or what regenerates you?
I have to be in This is the introvert in me. When I really have to regenerate, I have to put headphones in, have coffee, go in a dark room, and no one talk to me for at least an hour. Just because I have to get all the distractions out. I have to calm my mind and just sit down, focus. Okay, this is what I need to do next. This is the following thing. This is the following thing. Nobody's texting me. No one's saying, Mommy, where are my socks? Just full focus on getting my day. And then I walk out of the room and I'm like, all right, let's crush this. I got this. And then there's probably some wine in there. Maybe not like 8 a.m., but like 5 p.m. Probably some wine in there too.
It's those moments of luxury that we can all relate to. I can see you doing it. I could, you just painted the perfect picture for me. But I think we've all found that you have to do that, right? When there's so much, especially when it's the creative or the analytical minds, and you really need to disconnect. Some people don't, but I can absolutely appreciate you sitting in the closet and getting that time. And good for you to be able to do that and taking the time.
That's exactly where I go, is my closet.
Love it. Love it. What else? Is there anything else that you would like to share about your business, or you want to share anything about your journey with us?
I will say that for anyone who's trying to start their own business and maybe they don't have the luxury of just throwing the papers up, telling your boss, peace out, I quit. You have to maybe work your side job at night at those wee hours. I would say still do it. If you can't quit your job, still try to build your side business at times that's convenient for you, so that one day you can quit your job and open your side business. But if you're nervous, that's okay. Like, understand that not everyone has every single bit of the puzzle figured out. When you watch these people on Shark Tank and you see these people come up with these ideas, and then you have a shark, oh yeah, I'll give you this much at this percentage. You think, oh, now their life is candy or kush because now they have a shark and they have this thriving business. That's not complete reality. You don't see the ups and downs. You don't see the bank accounts going up and down behind the scenes. Like, those people struggled probably immensely, and their family probably did too. So it's okay for there to be ups and downs in your business. It's okay to have fear. You just got to start. Just start. That's it. That's kind of my little inspiration for anyone who's thinking about starting their own business. And if you don't have 1 million customers right away, then that's okay. You're still a business and you're still out there trying to provide for your family and do what makes you happy. And that's totally okay. That's totally okay.
Monica, my friend, you are a complete rock star. You just are. I always enjoy our time. We're going to have more time together. I know that in the future. But I'm tickled to watch you grow. Your inspiration that you just shared, that is what I would call the intentional inspiration. And you're right. You have to figure it out. And, they say, done is better than perfect, and there's danger in perfect. And you're right. We live among all of these Pinterest quotes, but we need that motivation and affirmation. But more importantly, we need each other. And I am so grateful that you took time to be here and to share that, because I know that there's so many others that are walking similar paths. And for you to share this and to just be honest and open, and your passion comes through in what you're doing. And I'm just very delighted that you were here with us today.
Well, thank you so much. I did find the book. Okay, it's called Start With Why, and it's Simon Sinek, which is actually, I learned a lot of people have read this. But truth be told, it was given to me by my ex-employer, who I still to this day love and respect. Changed my life. It really did.
Good for you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and we'll be sure and link that in there. So other folks can see, and we've got that information available. So as we close out a little bit here, where can our audience go to find and connect with you on your socials and share in your continued success?
Oh, great question. So I do have a website. The website is txboutiquemedia.com, and it does have sample photos, pricing, and contact info, all that goody stuff. I'm also on Facebook, Texas Boutique Media, and I'm on the IG, like the cool kids say, and it's going to be Texas_boutique_media.
Monica, thank you once again for sharing your silhouette of success with us. You are a true inspiration for everybody.
Oh, Amber, it was a pleasure talking with you. You always inspire me. You're always so positive, and I just love that we're in the same circle.
Awesome.
Good
All
vibes.
right, my lady. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Silhouettes of Success podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so you automatically get new episodes, and we'd love if you left us a review. We love to keep you in the ripple of support flowing and encourage you to pass on the light to help illuminate another's silhouette of success. So, please share this podcast on all your socials. Amber would love to hear from you, and you can find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, or head over to amberweitzer.com to reach out. To find out the latest ways to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, and gain actionable insights, subscribe at amberweitzer.com. The Silhouettes of Success is for those women who want to illuminate their success in life and business and pass it on to support others. We are honored and humbled that you've tuned in.